joined by the Hall of Famer, the logo, an executive board member here with the Golden State Warriors, Jerry West. I want to hit you up on a bunch of topics here while we have you. First, Allen Iverson and what he meant to the league and what impressions you had of his career.
Well, there's a couple of impressions. I think for all smaller players, he gave them hope. Not only to be a player, but to be a great player. The other thing I really admired about him is how competitive he was. He gave it every night. You didn't have to ask him to play. He said one time he didn't want to practice. He wanted to play the game. And if I were a coach, I'd rather have him play a game. But just a magnificent player. And I think for someone who likes smaller players sometimes, he was a great inspiration for me.
So much fun to watch. You see the guys here with the GOAT T-shirts on, and you were so eloquent yesterday speaking about Muhammad Ali, a contemporary of yours when you were a star athlete, and he was at the top of his game as a boxer as well. How well did you know Muhammad Ali, and what made him such a charismatic figure in your mind?
You know, he and I were on the same Olympic team in 1960. And the buildings over there where the athletes used to stay, not like where they stay today, Mr. O'Neill, when you were a part of it. Right. But people used to have to walk under these buildings. And you could hear him coming. I was like on the second floor where they housed the American athletes. You could hear him coming, making noise. He had something very special about him, an it factor, okay? Steph Curry's got an it factor. LeBron James got an it factor. Shaquille had an it factor. And there's few people will have it. But I think the thing I most admired about him is that it's ironic. I just read a story about he and Malcolm X, their lives together. Everything he had to endure in his life. And I saw him fight Frazier when he came back after not being able to fight for 3 years and losing that fight. And to watch this man just grow in stature every year. I often said to myself, why would he let him? They couldn't hit him. He would let fighters hit him, look like he saying that, you know, I want to please the fans. I want to show them I can take it too. But he left a mark that few athletes were ever going to be in this world. He is an iconic figure. People talk about iconic figure. He's an iconic figure all over the world. Some of our athletes are iconic figures in this country, not all over the world. I greatly admired him.
I have a question as well before Shaq jumps in. You know, we've known you as the constructor of teams. What's the first thing that you look at when you're trying to build a championship team?
Well, I think, to me, obviously you need talent, okay? And you need a couple of special players on your team. Who you surround those players with. To me, they have to be players that complement them. More importantly, they have to be able to think the game. If you can't think this game, you're going to get beat in a lot of close games. Players who can think this game are going to win games for you if you've got those big stars. And when Shaquille came to Los Angeles, I think the one thing I told him, I said, we have a lot of very underrated players here, and you're going to make them better. But I said, we're going to get the right kind of players for you to help you win a championship. And to watch, it was probably the greatest thrill of my life, because when he left Orlando, you know, it was hard for him. We were thrilled to have him, but to see him fulfill his dreams, not once, but twice, and probably more if he hadn't left there, that made me feel better than him. I trust you. That's how I felt.
Jerry, obviously you've been around the game. As a player, as a general manager, you've been an architect for championship teams. I'm curious, when you look at this Golden State team that's had some criticism, for a team that's been so good, breaking the record this year, there have been older players from previous generations who've been critical of the team and critical maybe of Steph Curry in this particular era. I'm curious what your thoughts are of all this criticism.
I would say, number one, get over it, okay? This is a different era, okay? He wouldn't be treated the same. You know, and again, I played eons ago. It was a dirty, dirty league. Dirty. A fight, no one would even get fined for a fight. They play the next night. Every foul that they review now that I'm sure you guys watch, you know it's not a foul. And so players today are treated a lot differently. They're the best of care. But he would have fared well in this game. The thing that would have happened different, he would have been held by two hands, okay? And it wouldn't have been easy for him, but he is so clever that he would find a way. And you watch him shoot around here, he's just an extraordinary shooter. But on top of that, he's competitive. You know, he doesn't drive by people, dunk on people. He plays the finesse game. And you didn't play a finesse game.
No, sir.
I kind of liked it, by the way. I like those guys ducking in there. But he would have been just fine, trust me. But he's a better teammate, too. He's just a great person.
I don't want to ask a question. Personally, I want to as you may know, I was announced in 2016 Hall of Fame class. And the moment for me when you believed in my greatness was when you brought me to the Forum. You know, after I was doing my movies and doing my albums, and you made me look up, and you said, Shaq, you could either be up there next to those guys, or you could be a bust, and you walked away. I just want to say thank you for that moment. Thank you for pushing me. Thank you for everything. Thank you for bringing me to the Lakers. Well, I really appreciate our friendship.
You know, I've been around a lot of special players, but for some reason, I probably had a better connection than you with any of them. I loved his personality. You know, a lot of people looked at him and said, well, you know, he doesn't take this game seriously. Trust me, this was an incredible, great player, but he was like the atomic bomb. No one had an answer for him. No one had an answer. And he made our other players better by simply his presence. And as I say, I've always cared a great deal about you, you know, as a lot of the guys there. But for some reason, he and I really resonated. And until the day I die, I will tell you, it's top of my list. He's one of my favorite players of all time.
I have one question. You weren't a bust. I said you could.
No, he couldn't be a bust.
Just missed it. But if you look at today, and everyone sees you on the logo, you know, I've had the luxury to see highlights and all those things. Who's the Jerry West of today? Who would you say, kind of, you know what, that kid plays like me a little bit?
You know who I really like as a player? I love him as a player. I love Kawhi Leonard. No nonsense. He plays both ends of the court. He just competes. Kawhi Leonard.
Interesting.
I love players like that.
Because I just remember some of the greatest defensive players of your era I would talk to, and they go, oh, I couldn't handle Jerry West. I couldn't handle him. Oh, I stopped him, but Jerry would give me 40. So that's why I was trying to figure out who's that guy. Is Steph a smaller version of what you were doing?
You know, it's awkward for me to talk about myself. I played in an era where, you know, when it's completely different. You had no three-point line, so you had to learn to get to the free throw line. Once Steph gets to the free throw line, he doesn't get very many calls, by the way. He doesn't. You have to make people to learn how to foul you, okay? Because you just can't keep making shots out there. And I think in 5 years of my career, I shot more free throws than anyone in the NBA. And so that's what let me score a lot of points. You just can't shoot from outside all the time and make shots all the time. You got to get to the free throw line. Plus, it lets you play defense when people are walking at you instead of running at you.
Hey, one of the overriding storylines of this finals, as you know, is LeBron James' record in this Ultimate Series. He's 2-4, so no matter what happens here, he's going to still have a sub-500 record. I know you can sympathize as well as anybody. I hate to even say it, but for folks at home, Jerry was 1-8 in the NBA Finals. He's an all-time great player. I think almost no one would dispute that. But in your mind, how important is his record in this series to his ultimate legacy?
This guy's been in the finals 6 times, 6 straight times, okay? He's been in the finals 2 times when they've had the best team. He has carried, those teams would not have made the playoff without him. I think it's absolutely ludicrous that people pick him out and cite him as being the problem for them not to get there. You know, I beat in the finals 8 times. I was better in the finals than the best of the best players. How do you think I felt after? You think I liked it?
Man,
I didn't like it.
True stories. We were playing Utah. We got swept. So I'm mad. I'm upset. I'm in the bathroom. I'm ripping out urinals. I'm ripping off door stalls. I'm ripping off mirrors. And Mr. West goes, what the hell's wrong with you? I was like, we keep him. I can't do it. And he told me that story. He said, I'm 1-8 in the final. I was like, what? You were what in the final? You went to the finals 9 times, and you were 1-8. So I kind of had to, stop doing what I was doing.
But he was averaging, he averaged 40 in the finals, too.
No, me too. I mean, I was putting up big numbers, but, we got swept. And I was like, oh, here we go again. And I was tearing the bathroom up.
By the way, couldn't agree with you more on the LeBron thing. You know who he's keeping out of the finals? Everybody else in the Eastern Conference, year after year after year.
Well,
great to have you with us, Jerry.
Well, thank you. I remember when Shaquille tore out the whole lot. First of all, it looked like someone had a wrecking ball down there. And I said to him, what in the world are you doing? And he said he was upset. He said, send me the bill. I said, you're not going to get a bill because we're going to win the next time around, and we did. But anyway, it's a great to spend time with you guys, and obviously you make the NBA fun. You people make it fun. I wish the best to all of you.
Well, it's great to have you with us. Jerry West, the logo, the only man who appears on our set whose image is on the microphone. There's only one guy all year.